Hear the stone, hear the fields call heaven home. Hear the gates, hear the plain refuse the old inherited pain. Where they planted fear, truth now stands. Where they wrote defeat, God writes command.